Gervonta Tank Davis absolutely ran from Vasyl Lomachenko. And then Vasyl Lomachenko absolutely ran from Devin Haney. Let's talk.
Straighter, not a roundhouse right hand.
And that's what we've been talking about, the straight shot, the one where he gets leverage on it.
I don't want to kill
Pull
somebody
back
for
a little bit.
seconds.
Nah, I want a body on my record.
Now, I want to see you fight motherfuckers. I do. All right? I'm with you. I'm with you. As long as you're trying to fight the great, the best competition.
In 2015, Floyd Mayweather fought Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. It was PBC versus Top Rank. Floyd Mayweather had a fighter named Gervonta Tank Davis, and Top Rank had Vasyl Lomachenko. With those two fighters being the heir apparent for Floyd and Pacquiao, there was some maneuvers that were being made. All right. Floyd Mayweather was moving Tank, gassing this man up to the high heavens as if he's the second coming of Jesus Christ. And they were doing the exact same thing with Vasyl Lomachenko. They're doing the exact same thing. Lomachenko was actually just fighting motherfuckers. He was fighting way better competition. But Tank Davis was young and up and coming, right? But they was calling him the next one and the phenom and stuff like that. So when Vasyl Lomachenko was, going through 26 and dominating the rankings and blah, 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 Gervonta was fighting bums and stuff like that. But again, he was young in the game. So they were looking at things a little bit differently, and rightfully so. So they weren't in the same weight class. Lomachenko was at 26, Tank was at 30. So Vasyl Lomachenko's last fight at 130 was in November 2015. Now, Gervonta Tank Davis had fought, he's been fighting at 30 a bunch of motherfuckers, right? But he fought one dude. This one dude, Mario McKissass, whatever. So he fought this one dude, right? And he fought him in June 3rd. Now, what makes June 3rd an important date, right, is because when Vasyl Lomachenko, right, when Vasyl Lomachenko moved up, right, you see he fought him in June 3rd. When Loma moved up, he fought this dude Rocky Martinez, right? And he fought Rocky Martinez on June 11th. Yeah, so you would think, right? You would think that if you're fighting on June 11th, if you're fighting June 11th and June 3rd, then the setup for the guys to fight each other next is like perfect. You're fighting the same month. So after Vasyl Lomachenko beat Roman Martinez and became the WBO champion, they asked him about what he wanted to do. And of course said he wanted to unify the division and become undisputed, blah, blah, blah. The same cliche terms he's always said, never did. But that's what he said he wanted to do. They also asked him about the up and coming phenom, Gervonta Tank Davis. They said, hey, you heard about Gervonta, Floyd Mayweather's fighter. He said, yeah, I want to fight him. I want to fight Tank Davis. So that was the beginning of the call outs to Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, I've always been a Tank fan. Even now, I'm a Tank fan. I just don't like his moves. I don't give a damn what y'all say. But, I don't like the man's moves. The man's moves is garbage, bro. This man's blatant duck moves. Doesn't mean I don't have to like him as a fighter. He does a lot of duck-ass moves. But then he was up and coming, right? He was young, flashy, power puncher, dominating fighters. He was exciting to watch. So when that conversation kicked out, this is when I was shout out to Prodigy and the boys over there at Three Kings Boxing. You know, when that conversation kicked out about this after Lomachenko became champion, Tank wasn't a champion yet. Loma was a champion. Tank wasn't a champion yet, right? So after the conversation came out, then I was like asking, like, bro, like, why is Lomachenko talking about Gervonta Tank Davis, bro? Why is he talking about Tank? And this dude's not even a champion yet. Why is he talking about him? And I was thinking that people are going to be like, yeah, you're right, BF. Crazy that he's talking about him. But that's not what Prodigy told me. You know, he was like, bro, your name is Best Fight the Best, isn't it? I was like, yeah. He was like, don't you think Tank is one of the best? I said, yeah. Don't you think Loma's one of the best? I said, yes. He said, so why shouldn't they fight then? That was the first body bag that ever happened to me for my channel. And Prodigy gave me that. The very first start, my first started out on my page of any type of debates, I got body bagged the very first time. Because that was about a body bag. Yes, Tank is one of the best fighters in the world. Lomachenko was one of the best fighters in the world. Why shouldn't they fight? I understand Tank is young. So what? So when Prodigy put me on the correct path, I was like, you right. And I've never strayed from that path since. So I'm like, okay, bet. You right? But they still gave Tank Davis, they gave him a pass still because he wasn't a champion. He hadn't fought for a belt yet. Yada, 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 right? Lomachenko, of course, is his second weight class. He's a two-time champion, Olympian, all this other good stuff, right? They're praising him, the footwork, the speed, the combination angles, yada, 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 right? And Tank Davis is young as hell. So, and he hadn't even fought for a belt yet, right? So it was one of those things. And I was like, all right, well, you know, I got to give him a pass and stuff like that. I got to give him a pass. Well, I didn't give him a pass, but it was like, I understand, right? Until the man becomes a champion, then we got something to talk about. So even Lomachenko did that, right? Lomachenko was like, bro, all right, so when the man gets a belt or whatever the case may be, then it's a whole different story. Then we'll revisit this conversation, right? Even Lomachenko was on the same type of stuff. So Lomachenko moved on, did his negotiation with Nicholas Walters, and they were set to fight in November of 2016, right? And then the craziest thing happened the month before that, in October of 2016. October, Gervonta Tank Davis came out, him and Floyd Mayweather came out and said that Tank is now fighting for a goddamn title. So the man, instead of fighting Pedraza for the IBF title, he could have fought Vasyl Lomachenko for the WBO. He blatantly ducked Vasyl Lomachenko. Blatantly ducked him. You could have fought Vasyl Lomachenko for the WBO and then came back around and unified with Pedraza, or fought Pedraza for the IBF and then unified with Vasyl Lomachenko, which is what people were thinking was going to happen. And then Floyd Mayweather came out talking about how we're not fighting Lomachenko. Yeah, you guys, y'all can just. It's not going to happen right now. It's not going to happen. Y'all can just move on. So when they said that, when Floyd Mayweather said that, standing right next to Tank Davis, that his fight's not happening right now. You guys just move on. You know, y'all guys just move on. Y'all just keep doing your thing. He's like, keep doing you do it, whatever. Lomachenko's a hell of a fighter. Like before, you know, all this other goofy ass shit. So Vasyl Lomachenko said, okay, cool. And he moved on and he fought Jason Sosa. Right? They were talking about how Gervonta can't fight Tank Davis right now. He's got to fight his Mando. So, you know, all this other stuff. Once he fights his Mando, we'll maybe talk about it, whatever. So he went on to fight his mandatory. So everybody was thinking, if you look at the dates, Vasyl Lomachenko fought in April. Gervonta Tank Davis fought in May. So if you're looking at the dates, you would think, all right, that this is it. After this, they are going to unify. That's what I thought. I thought, okay, this is it. here we are. Yes, man, just blatantly ducked this man already, but Floyd Mayweather got a plan, right? So this is it. They'll fight after this, right? So he went over to the UK. He dominated Liam, and came back. Floyd Mayweather said, nope. Nope. Tank Davis talk about they moving his career correctly, and people start to ask him, bro, what's up with Lomachenko? Well, I think they're moving my career correctly because, and all this other shit. And I'm like, bro, are you fucking serious, bro? You guys, you can't be fucking serious. You can't be fucking serious. So that is when Vasyl Lomachenko was like, all right, bro. All right, bro. So he moved on yet again to fight Miguel Mariaga. All right, he moved on yet again to fight Miguel Mariaga. Now, I wouldn't have a problem with a lot of things. I really, really wouldn't have a problem with a lot of things. But if you look at the date, Vasyl Lomachenko fought Miguel Mariaga in August of 2017. Gervonta Tank Davis had been saying for now going on 2 years that he wanted no smoke with this man. And everybody got to wait, and Lomachenko got to rush because Lomachenko's older. He's got to rush. Tank, you ain't got to rush. Like I said before, he got to rush and he got to do all these things. He's trying to force these, trying to push these things, blah, blah, blah. See, but around this time, maybe a little bit after this, when Floyd Mayweather and Tank Davis got into a little beef, and Floyd was threatening Tank with a fight with Lomachenko, and the most softest bitch made shit ever. Threaten another fighter with a fighter. If that doesn't tell the world that you pussy, if that doesn't tell the world you don't want to fight this man, I don't know what would. Seriously, I don't. I'm threatening you. You better shut the fuck up before I put you in there with Lomachenko. And he shut up too. Whatever. It is what it is. So look at the date. After saying that you're not going to fight this man and he's got to rush and all this other goofy ass shit, right? Lomachenko fights Mariaga the 5th of August. And then Gervonta Tank Davis does the goofiest shit in the world. This man literally, bro. Literally. Oh, wait a minute. I got to go back one. Fights in the same month against Fonseca. He fights in the same month. And loses his belt on the scale. He loses IBF belt on the scale. Loses it. Instead of unifying with Tank Davis, he fights a fucking bum and loses his belt on the scale. Crazy to me. Fucking crazy. So, he tried to fight again. Tried to fight him, and no, it ain't happening. The same goofy ass rhetoric, ducking, just blatantly ducking. So Vasyl Lomachenko fights Guillermo Rigondeaux. Fights him in December of 2017. That was his last fight at 130 against Guillermo Rigondeaux. Motherfucker was like, bro, Tank ain't trying to fight me. He don't want no smoke. The entire world knew that Tank was ducking and didn't want no smoke. You'll hear motherfuckers make up excuses. There ain't no fucking excuses. He didn't want to fight this man. Motherfucker missed weight, was overweight, dropped his belt in the scale. Then in his very next fight, motherfucking came back and fight a motherfucker, this bum ass nigga in his very next fight for the WBA title. And if you look closely, the WBA title that they're holding up is upside fucking down. And it wasn't even just a WBA regular title. It was the WBA super title. The disrespect was insane. And there was already a WBA super fucking champion. Gervonta Tank Davis ran from Lomachenko like a motherfucker. So what Lomachenko did, all right, what he did is the WBO champion who never fought for a WBA, a WBC, or an IBF, WBO champion, moved up 135 and fought for the WBA belt. That's what he did. He fought for the WBA title. He beat Jose Pedraza in his first fight at 135 and became the WBA champion and the lineal champion. Now, I'm all for all that. I was game. I gave him his respect because it was respect that he earned up to that right. Only thing that I had a beef with him was the Gary Russell rematch, which would have made him a unified champion at 26. Other than that, I didn't have no beef with the man. You know, the Nicholas Walters thing was but it is what it is. You know, I'm not even tripping. See, here's where it starts to get a little shaky for me, right? It starts to get a little shaky because when he went up to 135, that is when the man had a man on his heels. Yeah, he had a man on his heels. So he fought Linares on my birthday, Saturday, May 12th. Devin fought Mason Menard the day before on Friday. Yeah, Devin fought the day before on Friday, yo. The day before. So there was some stuff that came out, right? Because people had ran into Devin and they asked Devin some stuff like, oh, well, Devin, what's up with this, right? And Devin responded, y'all. He responded because this was in 2018 when Lomachenko got to 135, when Devin was there, when Devin had fought Mason Menard. And Devin said this.
I just got to ask about Lomachenko, man, because, well, you brought him up. You after the fight, you even said, I think you tagged him in a post, a picture you two guys had together, and you said, give me a shot.
Hold on, I want to show y'all something right now. Hold on, I want to show y'all something.
Don't show us your code.
Look, it's all good. Nobody gonna get my phone. Hold on, let me show y'all something. What's Lomachenko Instagram?
Just I see.
Good. All right. We have Lomachenko Instagram. Look what I did. Check what I did.
You said, let's fight. Just let's fight to Lomachenko.
Okay. I'm not playing no games with Lomachenko.
Lomachenko in the city. Let's fight. And what did he say?
He hasn't opened it.
He ain't opened it. He ain't opened it.
He's not his friend yet.
Listen, he ain't opened yet. That's all I gotta say. Nah. You know what I'm saying? I'm not playing no game with Lomachenko.
But you think that fight could happen sooner than later?
Yeah, I think it could happen.
So if you would have looked behind him, right? If you look behind him, you saw the sign for Pacquiao versus Broner. You saw the sign for Pacquiao versus Broner. And if you saw the sign for Pacquiao versus Broner, then you would know that they fought in January, right? 2019. They fought in January. So Devin talked to that man, Lomachenko, before that and told him, let's make it happen. Right? Let's make it happen. Actually 2018, I'm sorry. 2018. But he said, let's make it happen, bro. Let's get it popping. And Lomachenko didn't want any smoke with Devin. Any smoke. I digress. So after that fight, there was some fights that went on. And in that year where there was opportunity for Lomachenko and Devin to fight. Now, this first fight, I don't blame Lomachenko at all. Devin fought Juan Carlos Burgos in September 2018, and in December of the same year, Lomachenko unified the WBA and the WBO. So I don't have no beef with Lomachenko unifying those straps at all. I ain't got no beef. See, after that is the issue that I have, because Devin was trying to fight that man, and Devin was highly ranked. And instead of fighting a highly ranked opponent who was undefeated, Vasyl Lomachenko went on to fight Anthony Crolla, who had 6 losses and 3 draws. The same Anthony Crolla that Linares beat for the WBA title and the lineal strap in the first place. So, or the lineal title status in the first place, the WBA strap. That's who Linares beat for it. So there was absolutely no point or purpose in Lomachenko fighting Anthony Crolla. He could have fought Devin, but he didn't. He didn't. Devin went on to fight Indonesian, and then Lomachenko fought Anthony Crolla. Devin was calling out this man over and over and over again, and he was not trying to fight him at all. Whatever. So during this time period, Devin was ranked number 3, Zaur Abduliev was ranked number 2, and Luke Campbell was ranked number 1. Mikey Garcia had vacated the title. All right, Lomachenko was a unified WBO and WBA champion. Devin Haney went to work out a deal with Luke Campbell, and May 3rd, Friday, May 3rd, Devin Haney and Luke Campbell agreed on a deal. Everything was done, signed, sealed. They were just waiting for the delivery, right? They agreed on it, signed, sealed, waiting for the delivery. They agreed to fight each other in July. The entire planet knew this. 4 days later, Vasyl Lomachenko petitioned the WBC for him to be able to fight Luke Campbell for the vacant WBC title. Because Bob Arum is a bigger name than Eddie Hearn at the time, the WBC allowed it. They approved the petition, which is what Lomachenko did. He petitioned. Him and Top Rank, Bob Arum and Lomachenko petitioned the WBC to fight for the vacant WBC title. So therefore, they scrapped the deal that Devin had already signed. Scrapped it. Literally scrapped the man's deal. Scrapped the deal he already assigned for. When I think about it, it blows my fucking mind. It really blows my mind when I think about how they did champ. But whatever, it is what it is. So they scrapped the deal that Devin already had signed. And when they scrapped that deal, Devin went on to fight someone else when they scrapped the deal. He fought Antonio Moran. Fought him in May. He was available. Absolutely available. So Vasyl Lomachenko, you got Luke Campbell out the way. You fought Luke. You got Luke Campbell. You went in there. You stole him from Devin. Cool. Is what it is. You got Luke Campbell. So then there should be no reason why you shouldn't be able to fight Devin next. Devin wanted to stay busy. Vasyl Lomachenko didn't. So Devin fought in May. Lomachenko fought in August. Devin fought in September, right after him. A month apart. So they were right in line with each other, right in line. There was absolutely nothing stopping that fight, y'all. Nothing stopping it. They were 1 month apart. There should have been no reason why Vasyl Lomachenko could not have fought his mandatory, y'all. No reason. Now, what this looks like is when Gervonta Tank Davis had a mandatory and did not skip his mandatory for a unification. Well, there was no unification for Vasyl Lomachenko to have at this point. There was no unification because he had 3 belts already. There was no unification. The only belt left was the IBF belt, which was going on between Richard Comey and Teofimo Lopez. So Lomachenko, you had nothing but availability. It was just time, space, and opportunity. And instead of fighting Devin Haney, instead of fighting that man, you went and got the WBC franchise belt. You got the WBC franchise belt. The WBC said you did so much for the WBC that we're going to make you a franchise champion. He's never held a WBC title in his entire career. Not a minor one, nothing. This was the first time he's ever even touched a WBC title. His entire career. This is the first time. And they glazed this man so much. And backdoor negotiations and paid for play with Bob Arum, that they made this man a WBC franchise champion so he didn't have to fight Devin Haney. Crazy. And then they ran around talking about how, oh no, he's the real champion. Devin's not the real champion, because they ended up elevating Devin, right? He beat Zaur Abduliev when Zaur Abduliev was a WBC interim champion. He beat him, right? And then Devin became the WBC interim champion, which was the Mando to Lomachenko. And then Lomachenko went and got the WBC franchise championship or franchise status. So he has no mandatory. He went and signed for it. And he started crying about how he didn't know this and he didn't know that. Well, if you didn't know, once you did know, why didn't you give it back? Once you found out what the WBC franchise status was, why didn't you say, no, thank you? I don't want it. Because you could have. Mauricio Suleiman even said it. Give it back. I don't see the man trying to give it back. Because as soon as he would have given it back, he would have had a mandatory named Devin Haney. So he kept that. So he did not have a mandatory. And then they say, oh no, it was the real belt. It's the real belt. No. Because once he dropped that, he literally gave it up. Yeah, gave it up. He was stripped of his belt and given the honorary status. He was stripped of that belt. Stripped. He was no longer the champion. He was stripped of that belt. So when Devin Haney fought in his next fight, Devin Haney fought as the WBC champion because Vasyl Lomachenko vacated it, dropped it, was stripped, whatever you want to call it. What they said, these ain't my words. What they said is he was stripped. I didn't say this. Y'all go look at the articles yourself. Because he accepted the franchise status, so he was stripped of the WBC title when Devin was elevated because Lomachenko decided to not fight him. Now, Devin didn't need to fight Alfredo Santiago at all. He didn't need to fight Alfredo Santiago. He literally could have fought Vasyl Lomachenko, because if you go and look at the dates, Devin fought Alfredo Santiago in November. In August, Vasyl Lomachenko fought Luke Campbell. Meaning that he could have fought Devin Haney at any time. Because the next person he fought was Teofimo Lopez. That was the next person he fought. So instead of Devin Haney fighting Alfredo Santiago, Devin Haney could have fought Vasyl Lomachenko on the same date. The same date. It was Vasyl Lomachenko who did not want it. Vasyl Lomachenko. Vasyl Lomachenko went a different direction. He could have. So everything that was going on with Gervonta Tank Davis when it came to ducking Lomachenko, Lomachenko spun right around and did the exact same thing to Devin Haney. He did the exact same fucking thing, bro. The exact same thing. It's bonkers to me that I can sit here, do all this research, and all I get from you guys is a bunch of goof troop nonsense about how this guy did not duck Devin. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He absolutely did. Absolutely. Because you can look again now. Look at the dates. Devin did not need to fight this man at all. At all. Because when Lomachenko fought that man, when Lomachenko fought Luke Campbell, it was in August. Which means that he had September, October, November, December. He had 4 months, 2019, that he could have fought Devin in. 4 months that he could have fought him. See, the fight before that, Devin fought in May. So Devin didn't need to fight this guy. He didn't need to fight Santiago at all. He was already elevated to the WBC champion. He never needed to be elevated. If you fought in August, you could have fought Devin on this date. So instead of Devin fighting Alfredo Santiago, Devin could have fought Vasyl Lomachenko in November. Lomachenko didn't want it. Lomachenko sat out. Doesn't matter if Lomachenko wanted undisputed. Vasyl Lomachenko wanted undisputed when he fought this man right here. He was a unified champion when he fought Krolla. He had already beat Pedraza for the WBO, and he'd already beat Linares for the WBA. He had 2 belts. So if Lomachenko, his goal was to become undisputed, he had 2 belts. Why did he fight Krolla? There was literally no reason to fight Krolla at all. None. So you fought Pedraza in December, and then you fought Krolla 4 months later. 4 months later. All right, cool. Well, what's the difference between September, October, November, December? You could have fought Devin in December. Could have fought him in December. Would have been 4 months. Devin did not need to fight Alfredo Santiago. That was a voluntary. It was not a mandatory fight. It was a voluntary. Didn't need to fight him. You could have fought Devin Haney in November or September. There was nothing holding you up and nothing stopping you. You just didn't want to fight that man. You wanted no problem with him. You wanted no smoke. Just like this Tank Davis wanted no smoke with you. None. Tank made up every excuse, all kind of excuses to avoid you, and you made up all kind of excuses to include getting a belt, a franchise status, not even a belt, a status to duck Devin Haney. And nobody's going to care, though. Nobody's going to care. Why would they care, man? Why would anybody care? For what reason would anybody care about this, bro? For what reason? It's Devin Haney. He's the man y'all like to hate. This is the great white hype job right here. That's Devin, the man y'all want to hate, and this is the man y'all want to love. So you love this man because Tank ducked him. Tank didn't want no smoke. Tank was scared. Tank was this and Tank was that. Tank didn't get another belt to avoid this man. Loma did. Loma got a whole nother status that never existed before in the history of boxing, just to avoid Devin Haney. And then sat out for almost a year when he could have fought Devin Haney. Oh, BF, COVID was going on. Yeah, COVID was going on. And I showed you that Devin fought in November. I showed you that Lomachenko fought in August. I showed you that Lomachenko, the difference between Krolla and motherfucking Pedraza was 4 months. Well, they could have fought in December. That was 4 months. Devin fought in November. I guarantee you they could have moved it back a month to make that fight with Lomachenko. If Lomachenko wanted to fight, he didn't. He decided to sit in the shelf and wait for Teofimo Lopez. But he didn't wait for Luke Campbell. He fought Crolla. Didn't have a problem fighting Crolla at all. Had no problem. There was no issue fighting Crolla. He was not the mandatory, but Devin Haney was. So Crolla, you fought in a voluntary, a stay busy fight with Crolla. You had no problem doing that. But when it came to a stay busy fight with Devin Haney, all of a sudden now there's a problem. Now you're just going to wait. I'm just going to wait for Teofimo Lopez. I can't make this shit up, bro. This is the reason why I had to do this video the way I did it. Because too many people don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. You just make shit up. That's why I showed you the fight with the date. With the receipts. So yeah. Yeah, Gervonta Tank Davis absolutely ducked Lomachenko. Absolutely. And Lomachenko absolutely ducked Devin Haney. BFTB, man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. I'm out. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, subscribe to my Patreon. And if you feel like supporting me, please support me in the PayPal or the Cash App.